Very well. Fine. I will do so. I will comply.
As the one in the passenger seat kind of picks up your weapons and puts them on the hood of his car, the driver kind of takes you to the side, a little bit away from the car. Sir, do you know why we're stopping you?
Well, I don't think I was going fast enough to be speeding.
Sir, this is not a laughing matter.
No, I understand. People are probably a little unnerved.
Yes, you're in full riot gear, and you're quite literally armed to the teeth.
Yes, hence why I am leaving.
I do have to ask where you got these, your permits.
Does Leon is a respectable person. He probably at least has a license to own a shotgun. I don't. Where are we? Hanover?
Yes.
What state is this?
New Hampshire. So I'm gonna.
Laws, New Hampshire.
Yeah, I don't think they probably don't have like open carry.
I don't know. I don't hear much about them in terms of guns.
Yeah, but they are like a New England Democrat state, so
No guns.
it's either like limited or no one cares.
I would also like to ask, does your shotgun still have the serial number? I know it's modified.
Yeah, there's no reason I wouldn't get rid of the serial number. I don't want to break the law.
Kind of looks it over. The guy that took your weapons is looking over it, and he goes, you hear him say, heavily modified shotgun. It does have its serial numbers, though. And then you see him take out a little notepad, write down the serial number, and then hop back in the car as he checks the computer. So, as the other cop continues to talk. Obviously, yes, you are right. People are very, very concerned. You're walking down with a shotgun, a sword, and riot gear. Where exactly are you going?
I am leaving town.
That is a very ominous way of phrasing that. Is there a specific reason we should know that you're leaving town?
So that the people that are concerned have no need to be concerned. I am leaving.
I also didn't catch your name. Can I get your ID or driver's license, whichever one that you have?
Okay, another out-of-game question. How do changelings have to care about true names? Like, how does that work?
All they have to care about true.
Okay, so then I have a fake name. Alright, name generator. Alright, who am I? I am apparently now Maxwell Hall. Don't worry about it.
As he starts looking at your ID. Is the ID real or is it a false ID?
I mean, that depends. Was I able to get a real ID? Because I would try to. I mean, if not possible, then I would make it a fake, but ideally it's real. However, I don't know how easy it is for a changeling to just kind of make a new identity for themselves.
Yeah, it would be more the name that I'm questioning because you're using a false name.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually make another roll. Kind of eyes the ID warily. pretty good one, he says as he hands it back to you. Well, Mr. Hall, should I happen to come across anything that you've done in my town, I'm gonna make it my personal life's work to make sure that you end up behind bars.
I can assure you, officer, I have every intent to follow the law. I do not intend to harm anyone.
The other partner comes back, lets him know that the shotgun's registered to you. Obviously, they don't register swords, so, they can only assume that the rest of the stuff is yours. Alright, get the hell out of my town. Take your stuff and go.
I was on my way. And I will be on my way.
We are gonna go back to Lark.
Hello.
So,
Yeah.
what is your offer?
My ability. I'm going to give him a contract. One of my contracts. I will be giving up Last Harvest. It's pretty useful at times, and I say that as a for serious matters. I'm willing to offer this ability to you, or this map. Map could possibly change my life.
I'm not interested in your magic. I want something more substantial. If I wanted a contract, I would just learn it myself.
Fair enough. Brings out her. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What I could use is glamour. We'd go, let's see. Bit of glamour as payment. And 50 years of servitude. To me.
Uh-huh. What would that entail?
Whatever I decide it entails.
What if I was to give you glamour, but also an elemental weapon? And she kind of brings out her wind whip. It's one I created myself.
He scoffs. Again, if I wanted a contract, I'd learn it myself. You're not offering me anything that I can't get on my own.
50 years of servitude. Well, this map helps me like I planned. 50 years will be nothing. How much glamour are you taking?
A respectable amount? Let's see. 4 or 5.
Got a deal.
Alright, how much glamour do you have?
I know, I was counting as you said glamour. We only get that 1 bar of glamour, right? Or do we get both bars?
Depends on your weird.
Yeah, it depends on your weird.
I only got 1 weird.
That means
So
your
you
max
just
is
have-
10.
1 bar.
Ooh.
So he's
Okay.
offering for 40 to 50% of your total. And I know you haven't restored any glamour.
Nope. Shoot.
So you'd be at maybe 4 or 5. Quite literally what I'm asking for.
Yeah. He only wants 4 glamour?
He said 4 to 5. Just giving a little bit of leeway on that.
Does glamour restore after a good night's sleep? How do I
No, you actually have to do stuff.
I go harvest.
oh,
The easiest way, well, is just eat a goblin food. But you gotta go find a human who is experiencing a lot of a type of emotion, and you have to be very close to them. And you have to like
oh,
take the emotion in and whatnot.
okay, yeah, I'll use that. All right. 4. Maybe 4.
All right.
That's all I got left.
And that smile returns to his face as he hands over the map.
Thank you.
So, what do you say we get started then?
What you got plans, boss?
Well, first things first, I need you to man my stall for a while.
This map? This navigation stall? Really?
I want a break. I'm gonna go chill out for, who knows, 10, 20 years. We'll see. And he starts to walk away.
You do know what I am, right? Will I get an extra time if the huntsman gets me?
And he kind of waves his hand over his head like this.
Which one?
Don't say that.
Does it really matter?
Yeah, buddy. All
Does
right.
it really matter?
I'm going to open up this map he gave me, and I'm going to out of game. Would Lark know about the huntsman heart?
Not without a
Yeah.
very difficult intelligence plus occult check.
I'll risk it. Not really risk. Just
Be a -3.
ah.
The difficulty part of the check, yeah.
Yeah. So 2
Oh, well,
occult, 2
while you're
intelligence.
trying, you got
-3.
20 years of storefront. You got 20 years of retail ahead of you.
Have fun.
So much fun. Oh, no success. Don't know a dang thing. Alright, so minus that, she's gonna open up this map and look. Okay, what does she see when she opens up the map? First off.
As you first open the map, you see nothing. It's just blank canvas. After staring at it for about 5 seconds, though, that's when it starts to fill in details of a location.
Like a geography, landmarks.
It's hard to tell. You're gonna have to really study it because it seems that it's following something. So the map constantly changes as this thing moves.
Okay. I'm gonna start thinking about Sonya, Francis, and Leon. Changes, same.
Francis, when you start thinking of Francis, it shows what looks to be like the layout of his house or his apartment. Specifically, it seems like he's standing in his restroom. As you think of Sonya, you know what? I have to make a roll here. As you think of Sonya, the map immediately starts to try and freeze. Like ice crystals are forming on it.
Obviously, she wants to be distant. I'm gonna brush off the ice and change my mindset to someone else. Leon.
Leon seems to be walking down a street, talking with two individuals.
I can see that? Or are they just like dots in front of him saying like human or something?
You just see two dots in front of what you would assume is Leon.
Okay. Two more things. Sorry, this is taking a moment. I'm going to start thinking about the source of the Hedge sickness. Just the core of it in the Hedge. Can I get that map?
The map freezes for a second, as if it's pondering what you're exactly asking it. And then it slowly doesn't draw a map. Instead, it starts to draw an illustration of a gigantic, pustulant mass.
Ooh. A mass. Where is this
Once
map?
again, it's an illustration, not a map at this point.
It's just like a giant. Sorry, your screen kind of blacked out. It's just like a giant loogie, like a mucus ball, like what?
More or less, yeah. It seems to have some sort of bulbous face on it, but I mean, it is just a mass of flesh with pocks and pores.
Okay. Last thing, even though he said this might be the downside of this map. See the huntsman. Where is he?
He is currently in Francis's bathroom.
Oh man, as I'm laughing hysterically, so is Lark. Oh man. Okay. He remembers that little sandy rock you gave him. I'm gonna leave it. Never mind. I'll leave it there. That's all.
Alright,
Oh,
we're gonna go ahead and move on to Francis. Because we're not gonna sit there with Larkspur for 20 years.
Well, hopefully I live that long, or he might come back to a giant bug-infested stall.
So, Francis,
Yes.
as stated, you hear the clanking of iron against the tile of your bathroom as the huntsman enters your bathroom.
Francis turns around. Must you always appear behind?
I mean, that's the door that you gave me to enter through. That's not my fault now, is it?
I suppose. I guess I just wasn't expecting you so soon. Goblin did say 5 minutes.
Promises are concrete in our world, and you know this by now.
Yes, I am aware that promises should be kept. So you obviously know why I asked you to come here. Well, at least, part of the reason.
Yes, even though you drew me away from far, far more interesting matters, I'll be quite honest, but I needed to attend to this.
Thought more interesting. I thought we were your only target.
Never said it hadn't. I didn't say it didn't have anything to do with you. You as the collective group.
Oh, I see.
He kind of takes a seat on. He puts down the lid of your toilet and sits on the toilet.
Oh, it's kind of cramped in here. If you don't mind, we can go into the kitchen if you like. How big is he, by the way? I never actually asked that.
His armor makes him bigger than what he seems, but
Okay.
he's what you would consider average height.
Okay.
Well, then after you, Francis, it doesn't matter to me where we conduct business.
Yes, I'd rather it not be in the restroom. Yeah, I'll go out to the kitchen, take a seat at the table.
You're shortly followed by a couple of clanks as he, kind of adjusts himself so he can get in through the door with his helmet.
Last time I saw you, you made an offer.
I did.
Is that offer still on the table?
Offers willy-nilly, so yes. The offer has changed somewhat since you only need to offer me 4 people at this time.
Only 4?
You'll find out soon enough.
Well, I would like to have a few caveats to that deal before I accept it, if that's okay.
Depends on these caveats.
Well, in return for me helping you do your job of bringing us in, and only you can be the one to take us in, I don't want to go back in the hole that I got crawled out from, for one, back at the Keepers. I don't want to be the trash can. I don't want to be fed the remains of people I once knew. I don't want that anymore. Is that something you can honor, or is that something I have to go to the Keeper for?
That would specifically be the Keeper. I can't determine what the Keeper does and doesn't do. That is outside of any sort of deal I can make.
Well, then
I can put in a good word, but that's the extent of that. That's
Oh,
the phrase, right? A good word.
a good word, as long as it's a good word, actually trying, that'll work. So before the end, before we all go back, you have to let me cook everyone a final meal. The whole group, or apparently -1. But then, you know what? No. +1, because I want you to be there for the final meal as well. And I want you to eat everything that I cook, no wasted food. Because I hate wasted food.
Kind of chuckles as he very clearly is looking through your mask. Yeah, you would hate wasted food. And what is going to be the menu?
Oh, let's see. Let me think about that. We could do some stuffed mushrooms for an appetizer. Maybe a cherry chipotle pork chop or pork loin, and some kind of maybe a goblin fruit dessert. I'll have to think about that one.
I don't foresee any reason why we can't make this deal. It's pleasantries in the human world, is it not, to have a meal before one goes away?
That is the way of the humans, yes.
When should I expect delivery?
That's a good question.
I don't want to wait too long.
Not too long. When's a good time for you?
I mean,
Do you have a due date for us?
keepers do not give dates. I am currently only hunting the 4 of you.
Okay, so let's say a week?
A week is a fine date. He removes one gauntlet from his right hand and extends it out.
And Francis will extend his hand and shake.
You feel a little bit of searing pain from your hand, not enough to deal damage.
Okay.
You're not sure if it's maybe a contract that you've just made, or if it's residual iron from his hand. But he takes his hand back, puts his gauntlet back on. I'll see you guys in a week's time, now won't I?
Look forward to it. It's gonna be good.
He steps through the portal that's still open, back into the hedge.
Oh, and Francis kind of sinks down into a seat. Oh, that's... Guy's intimidating. Okay, so I've got a week of planning to do. Actually, a few days of planning to do. Francis is gonna start preparing for the menu. Well, the main thing that he needs is goblin fruit, because that was the specialty ingredient. So he's gonna go and look for some.
Are you just going to look for it in the hedge, or are you going to a goblin market to obtain it?
He doesn't want to go to a goblin market. He would have asked Leon, but you know, Leon has some issues he's dealing with in terms of goblin fruits. And Francis doesn't want to impose. So yeah, he'll try and scrounge some up from the hedge.
So that's going to be another... Are you just going to go in through the same portal?
Yeah.
Alright. You end up in the hedge. You can see the large tower of glass in the distance, but not too far away.
This looks familiar. Been here before. Okay, so... Well, I remember what happened last time. So, now that I have a more clear goal, go look for some goblin fruits.
Alright, give me the hedge then.
Let's do strength athletics. Ooh, 2 successes as he's pushing the hedge out of the way, not violently this time, but still trying to gently brute force his way through, if that makes sense.
I get what you're going for.
Yeah.
As you push your way through, You eventually come to a clearing. This clearing contains lots of black vines. But in the tangled mess of black vines, you do see green vines. You can see that these green vines are fruit-bearing vines. You also notice that part of the tangled mass in the center has been hacked away.
Looks like someone got here before me. Are there... Following the green vines, are there any fruits on them?
Give me a perception. Feel free to willpower.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Got no willpower. No successes.
So I'll offer you a deal here. You're gonna find some goblin fruit, but it's gonna take a long time.
Okay.
So you'll take it?
I'll take it.
Leon, you have retrieved your shotgun and
Okay.
sword.
I'm continuing down the road. Maybe I should get off the road.
Start cutting through people's backyards. I feel like that's a bad idea.
Well, okay, where are we still in town?
You were on the border of town, so I mean, you'll be out of town very, very shortly.
Okay, I'll stay on the road until I'm not obviously walking through a backyard.
Are you following at least vaguely the roads to get to this place?
Yeah, vaguely following the road, just trying to stay somewhat out of sight to cars passing by, because I don't want that to happen again, and I have a plan next time.
As you make your way, one moment. Actually, I gotta use the restroom.
Okay. Alright, so let's see. Update. One person is now retail working for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
One person is an enemy.
I should have been more specific, like, hey, let those 50 years start a year from now. Dang it, I left that part out. Oh well, not like she's gonna live much longer for it, so...
Francis will come kill you.
Yeah, well, get the huntsman to bring us all together for one last final meal. I hope there's poison or worms in it. Never mind, I'm already infested. So, yeah. I'm kind of... Like, if I ignore this contract, how will it hurt me?
It will do something. I forget what.
Because there were no... The contract did not involve what happens if you break it. The hedge, the weird itself, determines a punishment.
Random.
Now, the weird is not necessarily known for being fair or reasonable or making any sense. It determines what it thinks is the correct punishment and goes with it.
Yeah.
It could be, slap on the wrist. It could be your chuck straight to Arcadia.
Lark is feeling pretty... I mean, the fact that I had her accept that deal is like, she's pretty much expecting to only have, 2 weeks to live, so reckless might just be her way of going out. Screw everything at this point.
No, what'll probably happen is you're gonna walk away. You're gonna find your mage person to help you, and all right, here's the situation. Then you get pulled back to the goblin market from some random goblin, I'd like to buy a map to the local bathroom.
And I'm like, dang it! Yeah, that could be it. But...
Pretty much, yeah. You've signed at least 20 years off of doing retail work. Enjoy.
Yeah, she was just asking what happens if she breaks it.
Well, bad things, one.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, bad thing. They were just describing the bad things, but
You'll take clarity or there's a chance you'll take clarity damage.
She only got 2 weeks to live before she implodes with bugs, so. Yeah. This is pretty much like a trash character at the moment. Like, the second I found out she was like had these freaking bugs, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of just gonna run her through a train. Like, just yeah, full steam ahead, gonna die.
Yeah, this is breaking a formal oath or pledge is 4 dice.
And that's just the clarity. That's not even the punishment that the weird's gonna come up with for you. Because the goblin didn't set a punishment. So.
Yeah, potato. She got 2 weeks to live.
But yeah, he didn't. He just stated that you have to man his station for 20 years, essentially, or that he would be back in 10 to 20 years. He didn't say you had to stay there, but it does mean that probably you might be mid conversation with somebody and then all of a sudden, hey, I need to buy a map, and you're just like, why am I here again?
Just like, wah! I send Squinks in my. Can I?
I don't think Squinks knows how to do deals.
Can I do a thing? I think. Hold on, I'm gonna do research.
All right. Well, we're gonna hop back in with Leon as
Leon's grand walking adventure. Because should I build a car? I might get pulled over. No, I'm gonna keep walking.
Where's your Fae?
What Fae?
Are you?
Not everybody wants pets.
I want to get a Fae mount. That's why I was talking to Francis about it. However, plans got changed.
Yeah, I thought you actually did. No. Okay, ignore.
I can make a bike. Just a bicycle.
Are you actually gonna make a bicycle?
I don't have anything to make it with, so no. I don't have the ogre seeding benefit for that, so I really can't. No, I'm just gonna keep walking.
It's probably roughly about 5 by the time you arrive. Trying to keep, not necessarily off the road, but out of sight of the road.
Okay.
It's a small little church, fairly well kept. It looks almost idyllic. There's a few cars parked out. They seem to be letting people in for service, but the address matches.
Okay. I am gonna do a thing. I am going to use a contract. Light shy. It is obfuscate.
Yes.
Essentially.
Does it require a roll or glamour?
Nope.
Or both?
It is 1 glamour and instant action. I become invisible to the mind, affecting all senses, though recording technology still detects me. It ends if I take any aggressive action, or inflicts any kind of harm or supernatural effect on anyone.
Alright.
I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna walk in and see if this place is just a random church, or see if I can't find anything unusual, as the fact that it had Apollo written in the brochure is giving me cult vibes. So
Well, the first thing that you notice is there are lots of iconography of the sun in this church. Where you would assume, normally in a Christian church, you would find the crucifixion. Instead is a large sun. The sun has a wolf's face emboldened in the middle of it. Embossed, I think is the word I'm looking for there. Seems like it's how long does the contract last, actually? That's a good question.
it does not specify a time, so by default it defaults to a scene. As contracts, if they don't mention how long they last, it just assumes scene.
Alright. It seems like they're still getting set up for whatever service they plan on running today. But if you want to go ahead, give me any sort of like knowledge occult, knowledge religion, or intelligence religion, intelligence occult, feel free to go ahead and do so at this time.
I don't know what I'll know, but maybe it was mentioned in passing by someone in the freehold.
Alrighty. These people are not necessarily unknown to you. It is definitely more of a cult. They worship some sort of wolf that lives on the sun, in the most like basic layman terms.
Okay, so... Alright, so yes, it is a cult, confirmed. It wasn't too hard to guess. But everyone here appears human, correct? There's no, like, fae running around, no goblin in the rafters?
No goblins, no. Nothing
Okay.
fae-oriented. Roll me a perception check, though.
Oh boy, okay.
There's one thing of note. One person of note. The preacher. He, for all lack of intensive purposes, is probably the ugliest individual you have ever seen. Alright, so we're gonna get back to where Leon was.
Yes. So this preacher individual is
Exceedingly ugly.
exceedingly ugly. What is he doing? Is he giving a sermon, so to say, or is he just kind of
He's
talking?
prepping. He's prepping right now. As stated, he's got like tufts of hair coming off the top of his ears. He's got a massive amount of hair coming out of his ears. His face... If you are interested in fantasy-type creatures, Leon would probably recognize his face almost like that of an orc.
Okay. He is ugly. Alright. So. Stupid? Just say. Alright, Dice, I need an answer. Okay. Alright, so I will exit the building and drop the contract. Out of sight of people, you know, like...
So you don't just blink in front of a bunch of people?
Yeah, that would be the idea.
Of course.
And... well, I'm going to make sure my weapons are sheathed, readjust my shield, and the door's just open, so I'm gonna walk in.
As you walk in, obviously you draw some attention. You know, full riot gear and the like.
This is expected.
The preacher that I had mentioned to you before is the first one that approaches you. He comes up, "My son, you come looking like you expect war."
You always have to expect it. But curiosity has brought me here.
One of our flyers have found its way into your hand, I assume?
Yes, I'm not sure who you hired to distribute them and who walks up to a man looking like me on the street and hands him a flyer. But
He is simply one of the children of Apollo. I told him to hand it to anyone. I would assume you classify as anyone.
Yes, yes.
But come,
I'll be. Go ahead.
but come, sit, have a seat. I would like to learn more of you. And he kind of gestures to one of the pews up front.
Well, you're probably not my enemy. So, very well, I'll entertain it. Curiosity. See what is going on. What else is there to do in life?
As you kind of sit down on the pew, he sits across from you as his podium is slightly on a raised dais. He goes, "So, why don't you tell me a little about it yourself, son?"
Well, what do you want to know? I graduated from this high school.
How about we just start with names?
Do I lie to him? Well, I have a couple names, I suppose. Which one do you want? The one on my license or the one that I go by to close friends?
That is your decision to make.
Well, for now I am Maxwell Hall. Good. May I ask yours, my friend?
Yes, my name is Apollos. Yes, I am aware of the irony of this statement, for we worship a deity named Apollo, and yet my name is Apollos. Don't worry, I don't have any delusions of anything above my station. I am a humble speaker.
Yes, this deity. I have heard of many gatherings of folk who worship deities. What sets yours apart from all the others in this world?
Well, outside of the fact that he is a child of Helios, the sun wolf Apollo, I mean, he is a being of immense power. And soon his day where he can interact with us is at hand.
Yes, this solar flare, Well, I must say, has this deity interacted before on these solar flares? Or is this...
He interacts on days of solar significance. Solar flares, solar eclipses are also days that he interacts.
Well, perhaps we might see him this week. But I know not if I will still be around. I'm on the move at the moment.
We all are, my child. Many of the people here, and he kind of gestures out over the probably about 10 to 15 people at this time. As they begin to gather and, take seats, They pay you a little bit of attention, obviously, man in riot gear.
This is suspected, yes.
But they don't seem overly concerned as you are talking with their leader, so to speak. A lot of these individuals are on the move. I do kind of looks at you. You do not seem to be of the same variety as a lot of these people.
I reckon I have far more, far larger concerns than most of them. Yes. Tell me. I don't suspect them of anything. Are you human? I recognize this is a bit of a loaded question.
He kind of bites his lips somewhat as he considers the best way to answer this. I am more human than some of the people that attend this congregation. I do not have the capabilities of some of the individuals, but that is not really of anybody's concern. You say that you should expect war. Well, some of the people here have come to this very location to get away from a very, very long war. A war of brothers, if you will. This congregation rejects the creed of both of the brothers. We find our own path.
Well, perhaps there's some words. Well,
Hold up.
perhaps
Like everybody's cameras froze.
Although I suspect war between brothers is slightly more meaningful than what I have to fight for.
What do you have to fight for, my son?
They most likely fight over ideology. I'm stuck fighting here over existence. Not fun.
They fight over existence as well. You are not so different from them.
Well, I reckon that since you have not made, since I can tell you are not at all like myself, I reckon I probably am different from them if you are similar to them in any regard. But this is speaking on a more physical level, I suppose, or a more metaphysical level. I'm not sure the proper terminology.
I mean, with the solar eclipse nigh, would you like to meet him, our god?
Well, I haven't met a god before. I suppose it's one to add to the bucket list, if you could call it that, if I'm still around. But
You have just finished listening to this week's episode of Changeling the Lost 2nd Edition, Once More Into the Hedge, part of the Domain Gaming's Contagion Anthology, written and told by Wyverian. A special thanks to you, the listener, and if you wish to continue supporting us, subscribe, like, and share. And as always, comments are welcomed. Until the next chapter, don't stop asking yourself, how do you find the lost beauty in the agony of this life?